Ahoy there, YouTube! We're back again for more of our Gencon Bonanza Explosion blog coverage here live at Gencon 2018. Thanks in part to all of our amazing Kickstarter backers, these spectacular companies that donated games to help us run our Kickstarter. Huge thanks to them. And of course our big sponsors, Tasty Minstrel Games and Minion Games. Show them some love down in the clickables right down below. Right now, though, we're going to talk about an upcoming expansion to a game called Shards of Infinity. I recently reviewed it. I enjoyed it. Cool little deck building game, but we're going to talk to the designer, one of the co-designers of the game, Justin, about the upcoming expansion to Shards of Infinity. So, what's the expansion?
Yeah, the expansion is called Relics of the Future, and it's coming out in October, and we don't even have it here. We literally just sent it to the printer like right before Gen Con, so this is the first time we're actually able to talk about it definitively with what's going on in the set, so it's really exciting. It's only going to be $9.99, and it adds in a new mechanics to Shards of Infinity that, frankly, a lot of the fans have been wanting. So, I don't remember if your review said this specifically, but a lot of people were asking, like, well, why aren't the characters have unique powers? Why don't they have something different that they can do? Right, asymmetrical characters. Well, guess what? We have it. And one of the cool things about it, like, as a designer, the challenge of asymmetrical starting characters is very often, one, they're very hard to balance, and two, when you get a starting character that has specific powers, a lot of times it railroads you into a specific play pattern, right? Which is fine the first couple times you play, but if you want to play a game 20, 40, 50 times or more, that can get really boring really fast, right? Because you're just like, oh, I got this character, I have to do this. So what we did with Relics of the Future, and why it's called Relics of the Future, is that each character comes with 2 relics. They're super powerful cards that when you get to 10 mastery, you can acquire one of those 2 relics. And they're very different. They take you on very different paths. And so this idea that you're this being of great power and you can see 2 paths ahead of you. Maybe you want to be a mighty warrior crushing everybody in your path. Maybe you want to build a defensive fortress so that nobody can stop you. Your cards will give you both of those options. So that's like the main new mechanic of the game, in addition to a bunch of extra cards that get shuffled into the center deck. We also have a ton of rules variants for people, because when I design a game, my goal is not that this is something you play a couple times and you're like, yeah, okay, that was fun, I'm done with it, and put it on the shelf. My goal is that it's a game that you will play for years and years to come, right? Ascension was released here at Gen Con 8 years ago. We just released our 13th expansion. We have people playing all the time, and Shards of Infinity is meant to be the same thing.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Shards of Infinity. One of my favorite things is, what were you thinking as a game designer, just talking about this one, with the one where you get all the shards, then you can get that one card, it's just like, I just destroy and kill everything. Like, that's my favorite aspect, and that's always what I go for. But what were you thinking when you're like, what if we just had a card that if we could get to the right number of shards, we just blow everything up?
Yeah, so that was really a lot of the core, the design of the game. Like, the biggest innovation from my perspective as a designer in Shards of Infinity is the mastery tracker, right? And the fact that you can slowly invest in increasing the power level of all your cards, right, and leveling up your cards as a trade-off against doing things in the center row or buying new cards or whatever, is this really fascinating thing. And we're like, well, okay, it's got to get more and more powerful as you go, and we knew where we were going to have a cap, so what should you do when you get as powerful as you can possibly be? Well, infinite power, of course. And we ended up, building the entire game around it, right? The Infinity Shard is that starting card in everybody's deck. It does very little when you start, only 2 power, and then when you get all the way up to 30, boom, infinity. And we actually did have a very long debate in the office about, should we put an infinity sign there? Should we say you win the game? Should we do, just put like 100 power or something, some really high number? And I loved the concept of infinity. We obviously called the game Shards of Infinity, so I thought the winning card should have infinity on it.
I think that's such a cool concept. But that is the upcoming expansion to Shards of Infinity. It looks like it might be a cup of tea. Be sure to check that one out later this year. If you enjoyed the Gen Con coverage, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below and in the comments below. Let me know, if you had unlimited power, what would you do?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
If I had unlimited power, what would I do? Well, I pretty much would keep doing exactly what I'm doing. I love making games, but I would make some pretty epic games that would actually interact in real life. I think, for real answers, I think gaming and making good games is actually the key to our society working together better, right? Government is a game, business is a game, and the rules that we have set up now are not exactly the way I would like them. I think you could set up a global game that would get people to have better lives, get along better, and overall move us in the right direction.
I would probably become independently wealthy and play Overwatch all day, while still doing Bauer's Game Corner, of course, because I love doing this. But let me know in the comments below. Unlimited power, what would you do? And as always, thanks for your time.